Hello everyone, welcome to Math Pros. We have this challenge to evaluate. We have the square root of, under the square root we have the square root of 147 plus the square root of 243. So how do we evaluate this without the use of the calculator? So we take our solution. All right, this is a simple one. The first thing we're going to do here is to look at the quantities we have inside, the radical inside, and this quantity we have here also. Is there any way we can simplify these two down? Yes, let's see to this. So we have our square root of the square root of 147, there plus the square root of our 243, right? Good. So you discover that 147 can be broken down into 3 times 49, right? Good. So we just have to rewrite this as the square root of our square root of 3 times 49, then plus. Also, if you check out here, you discover that our 243 can also be split into 3 times 81. So we have this to be 3 times our 81. Now, if you look at the quantities we have here and the one we have here, you discover that 49 is a perfect square and our 31 is also a perfect, 81 is also a perfect square. So let's go ahead and rewrite this. Applying the a law of surd, we see is that when you have the square root of your a times b, this is equal to the square root of a times the square root of b separately. So if we apply this, then we can rewrite everything here. Here we have our major square roots here. So we're going to have the square root of our 3 times the square root of our 49, then plus, yeah, we do same here, the square root of 3 times the square root of 81. Okay. Now, with this thing we having here, the next thing we do here is simple, easy. So the square root of 49 is 7, and that of 81 is 9. So this is going to give us the square root of our 7 times the square root of 3, the plus, here we have 9 into the square root of our 3. So check out what we have here now. If we circle to the rules of surd again, we says that if you have your, let's take your root a plus root a, this is equal to our 2 root a. Okay, so long we're having same quantity in here and here, and here the radical is a square root and this radical is a square root, so we can add everything we have here together. So if we go ahead to add everything together, so we have 7 root 3 plus 9 root 3, and that will give us 16 root 3. Okay, now look at this expression we are having here now. We can rewrite this expression in this form. And what we have here is same thing as the square root of our 16 there times the square root of 3. Wow. So we know this is a perfect square again. So the square root of 16 will give us 4. So we have here 4 times the square root of our, the square root of 3 can be written as 3 to the power of 1 all over 2. We all know that, right? Good. So here we still have a square root radical. So rewriting this is going to give us something special, right? So we're going to have here 4 times 3 all raised to the power of 1 all over 2, or in turn raised to 1 all over 2. So we can use this to multiply this. According to the law of indices, we see that if you have your n to the power of your p, k, this is equal to your n to the power of p all raised to the power of your k. Okay, so if we succumb to this rule, then we can rewrite this by using this to multiply this. So this is going to give us 4 times our 3 to the power of 1 all over 4. Okay, so this is the final answer. And so we can say, therefore, the the square root of our square root of 147, okay, 147, then plus the square root of our 243. This is simply equal to 4, okay, times, mind you, this is a fourth root, right? So into the fourth root of R3. So this is how you simplify this without the use of the calculator. So if you learned something, drop it in the comment section. See you in our next class.